It's time for Dodger baseball.
What a catch by Mookie Betts. Another home run for Corey Seager. Another strikeout for Kershaw. A robbery of Tatis. Gone. Will Smith. This is what an ace looks like.
And tag out is Riley, a double play.
Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
And welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. I'm your host, Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. That's at DMac_LA. Thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers. They get shut out at home to the lowly Rockies, one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball, literally the worst road team in Major League Baseball, heading into today, a .333 win percentage on the road this season. An absolutely inexcusable, pitiful loss by the Dodgers from the lineup, from the execution, from the management during the game. This was a terrible loss for the Dodgers. In my opinion, this is worse than the combined no-hitter loss against the Chicago Cubs with Zach Davies and Kimbrel and company. This was an absolute disaster of a loss for the Dodgers. A huge missed opportunity. LA should be a half game back in the NL West. Instead, they're in neutral at 2.5 games. The Braves take 2 of 3 from the Giants. The Dodgers lose 2 of 3 to the Rockies at home. The sweep against the Padres, to me, means little to nothing at this point. I mean, it was nice to get that done, but this was the disgrace of a loss by the Dodgers. We have so much to get into, guys. I mean, this was just an absolute disgraceful loss by Los Angeles. But here we go. The Baltimore Dodgers fire Roberts. Get all your takes in right here. Get all your takes in right here. The Baltimore Dodgers. Okay, fire Roberts. Let it all out. This is what is great about this show, guys. We got to get out our overreactions, our emotions after these games. 'Cause I'm with you guys. I'm a man of the fan, but I'm also a lifelong fan of this team too. And when I see an opportunity miss like this, it's a crushing blow. It's almost as if this team doesn't realize that wins against the Colorado Rockies count the same against wins against the Atlanta Braves or the San Diego Padres on the road. This team looked flat. This team looked lethargic. The non-competitive at-bats at the beginning of the game. Senzatella going perfect through 4 innings after giving up 12 runs against the Dodgers this season. An absolute poor performance by the offense. The bottom of that lineup was terrible with Billy McKinney, who's hitting like 162 as a Dodger. Why is he in the lineup instead of Matt Beatty? Billy McKinney's had that one great game against the Pittsburgh Pirates with a home run and the throwout, but he's in there for his defense. But his bat, he's pretty much an automatic out at this point. Not a good day for Austin Barnes. And then, of course, you got the Dodgers electing not to pitch around Cron there in the first inning. They had runners on second and third with first base open, and they have one of the hottest hitters in all of Major League Baseball. He has an 1190 OPS in his last 24 games heading into today's action. What does he do? Crushes it, a 3-run shot, and that's really all they needed. But got to get to your comments, guys. Obviously, a lot to say myself. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Who do you blame this loss on? Let me know down below in the comments section. The 16-inning game messes us up. That definitely was a factor. You got to point that out. The bullpen usage, you saw it. One of the bright spots, I have to admit, even though today's loss was absolutely terrible. To me, this was the worst loss of the season. I know some of the Giants' losses, the Kenley blown saves of the Giants were more crushing losses when you consider the rival, when you consider the Dodgers had the lead in that one. But to me, this was just an absolutely pooping of the bed today against the Colorado Rockies. You lose. Only their second road series win of the year comes against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Inexcusable. There's no way to spin this. Dodgers did not come out and play winning baseball. And look, even the Seattle Mariners in 2001, they won 116 games. They lost 46 games that year. You're going to lose a lot of games in Major League Baseball. That's the nature of a sport that has 162 games in it. But the Dodgers did not put themselves in the best position to win today. And I understand your bullpen is depleted, like you just mentioned. CA over on YouTube, 16-inning game there definitely has impacted the usage of the bullpen this entire series and for the rest of the week, and there's no question about that. But the lineup, when you see Mookie Betts come in on a double switch, when you see Justin Turner come in later the game and pinch hit and ultimately pitch a scoreless frame in the ninth inning, those guys are available. And look, Billy McKinney really should be a last resort player when you got a guy like Mookie Betts. I understand Mookie Betts is still coming back from that hip injury, got the injection, but look, man, we got a little over 30 games to play. This is go time. You really want to put yourself in a position where you're going to put a whole 162-game season down to a one-game wild card playoff against a hot Reds team that's definitely capable of being the Dodgers in one game. I mean, what is this team doing? It's frustrating, man. Fire Roberts from Careless Whisper. This game was pathetic from Wilfredo Cordero. Crap from Deborah Young. Let the roast begin. Joe Correa. Yeah, roast the. Look, man, we keep it real. If you guys want to call the call-in show and this and that, where they're going to spin in the Dodgers' favor, they can do that. We keep it 100 on the show. And it's because of you guys, the fans out there, and that's just how it is. Is no spin on the show. I don't get Roberts ain't swinging the bats. Nathan Bradford. Look, I'm not blaming this entirely on Dave Roberts, and I'm not even giving most. I mean, look, to me, I'm more always a player's guy. But when you score 0 runs, I mean, how can you really even fault that? But still, look, you trail, and when the Dodgers trail, their at bats are just different. There's no question about it. They go up there, they try to hit 12-run home runs. Each and every time, and you saw that today. They weren't putting together good. They did have some opportunities, though. I mean, you saw multiple opportunities that the Dodgers had to get back in this game. They just couldn't get that big hit. They couldn't get runs when they needed to. And Mitch White, he just wasn't sharp early on. Did not have the command. And on that one pitch to Crone, he just left that fastball up in the zone, and he absolutely crushed it. Didn't like that pitch call right there when you consider the fact that he wasn't commanding that strike zone well. He wasn't hitting his spots. To me, you're going against Crone. You're just throwing out. He looks like he's out there throwing batting practice meatball pitches against Crone. That's just not going to get it done by any stretch of the imagination. But look, to me, it is a players' league, and the players have to have pride and go out there and swing the bat against this Rockies team. And look, there's some of these Sunday games. Dodgers, I think, heading into today, were 12-8 on Sunday games, so it's not like they're now they're 12-9. But look, the crowd was not into it. I mean, it was a flat, boring day at Dodger Stadium if you're a fan. But what up, D-Mac? Dodgers should be embarrassed pound for pound. SMH. Chokers from Dave. Guys just looks really tired. Yeah, and look, it's a grind of a season. They call it the dog days of August for a reason, and there's no question about it that played a factor. And look, there's a bullseye on the Dodgers' back. Everyone wants to beat the Dodgers, the Rockies. What do they have to play for the rest of the season other than be the spoiler of this Dodgers team? But still, there's just no excuse. There's really no excuse that the Dodgers lost 2 out of 3. They could have gotten swept if it weren't for Will Smith's heroics yesterday. And they just did not look sharp this whole entire series. And to me, they were looking ahead to this. Yes, there was fatigue, no question about it. Yes, the bullpen was depleted. But to me, they're looking ahead to this big week against the Atlanta Braves, against the San Francisco Giants. And they better make up for their poor performance in this 3-game set to Colorado the following week, or chances could look very grim as far as the Dodgers winning their 9th straight division title. This is a put up or shut up week for the Dodgers next week. They make no bones about it. They have to perform this week. They have to execute. They have to go out there. To me, this is a postseason. This is already the playoffs. I don't know if you guys are watching some of the regular seasons or not, or games or whatever. This next week, you pretend they have patches on their jerseys and on their hats that say this is the postseason. Because to me, when it comes to this, the Dodgers, they need to win this week. They need to come up big against Atlanta and against San Francisco. Because I'm telling you, don't put yourself in that one-game wild card. Yes, they can win that game and still win the World Series, but you put yourself in a precarious position where anything can happen. And anytime you see a team that is as bad as this Rockies team that's underperformed all season long comes in and dominates the Dodgers essentially in a 3-game series, that proves that there. But this team does not want it, Doug. That's from Moose 1032. Roberts and his lame shenanigans. Let's face it, we suck at day games. Deborah Young. Well, you know how we get down, Deborah Young. We bring our facts to the fight here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. And what we're going to do is we're going to see what's the Dodgers' record on day games. What is the Dodgers' record on day games? We're going to find that out heading into today. Somewhere in here. We have to get back to you on that one, actually. But yeah. if you look at this Dodger team, too, just the at-bats weren't there. I mean, I thought some bright spots. I think Brusdar Graterol came in. You're seeing him really use that fastball to set up the breaking stuff, and I think that's really big in his evolution. So I'm really excited about his where he's heading. But all in all, it just it wasn't happening for the Dodgers today. But he has his team. Roberts does suck. Don't bleed Dodger. Rich Hill, he doesn't bleed Dodger blue. Come on, he played for the Dodgers, managed the Dodgers. Dave Roberts, UCLA star, cancer survivor, extremely successful guy who owns a wine company, on a Hall of Fame trajectory. I don't think that's a question, okay? I mean, managers have good days and bad days. We were all talking about how great he outmanaged Jace Tingle the other night, but today it just, I mean, look, the bats were terrible. I mean, you scored 0 runs. You got to put. If you're gonna say they don't bleed Dodger blue, then I want you to throw out some players that you don't think bleed Dodger blue too. Because look, to me, this whole Dave Roberts thing, we can clown him, and I'm about to right now for some of his decisions. But we got to keep it real, man. It's also the players. But this team is playing with no urgency. Robert Rocha. Look, I mean, this team. It's like, of course we're gonna be prisoners of the moment, and there's no question about that. And I'm with you guys on that too. But when you think about this team is really, I mean, they've been playing outstanding baseball. They've been playing outstanding baseball in the month of August, right up there with the San Francisco Giants when it comes to wins. 19 wins in the month of August, and them and the Yankees, a lot of hot teams right at the top this week, but I mean this month in Major League Baseball. So for the most part, the Dodgers, they have been keeping pace all month long, and this was a tough one. This is a tough one for the Dodgers, and really, it almost feels like it's multiple losses. It does still count as one loss, but here we go. Mismanagement. Blame everyone involved, not just Roberts. Thank you, LLWC. There is a more nuanced take than just blaming on one guy when you have a lineup of 9 guys. But I think the lineup construction today was bad. I didn't like the loading of the bases with Joe Kelly out there. That's something that was worried about. That and then you saw Shane Green throws the wild pitch. But really, that first inning just set the Dodgers up for a really bad day. Now, they've had the biggest comeback of the year, of course. They had a 5-run deficit against the San Francisco Giants, or Will Smith hit the walk-off, but not very many big comeback wins. You had a couple 3-run comebacks this season. Of course, you had the Mariners comeback a few months ago, but the heroics have really been few and far between this season. And here we go. When is Kershaw going to come back? You saw him. He was throwing. I think we're going to get some news on that this week, but here we go. This series will cost us the division. Robert Rocha. I mean, it'll be interesting to look back and see. Of course, Friday night you had the bad call to Corey Seager that would have set up the Dodgers, the runners on first and second, and Pollock at the plate. They lose that one, but there's going to be a couple. You've got the check swing with Ruff. I mean, there's going to be a couple games this year you're going to look back and say if they lost this by a slim margin, you're going to want some of those games back. But at the end of the day, the Dodgers have put themselves in this position, and they still, here we go. Man, this game was horrible. Wild card is the goal of Roberts, careless whisper. Craig Osterberg, blame loss on Roberts. Where's Will Smith? Put your best players out there. That's from Craig Osterberg. Yeah, and that's the thing. Austin Barnes, I think he had I pretty much think he was one of his worst games of the year for Austin Barnes. Couple plays there. I mean, I think this the game calling. I don't think that he was that excellent with the fingers when it comes to the game plan he had for Mitch White early on. And look, at the end of the day, Mitch White has to come out and execute pitches. But I mean, you leave that. I mean, that was the most telegraphed 3-run home run I think I've ever seen this season. I mean, it was very obvious what was about to happen with Crone at the plate. You know he was going to go deep. It just really. It was just crazy how we felt. I mean, I felt like I could see it. I'm pretty sure you guys out there felt like you could see it. And, it was just unfortunate to see. Now, the positive spin, Dodgers still right in the mix. I mean, they have the 3rd best record in Major League Baseball. They're half a game behind the Rays, 2.5 games behind the San Francisco Giants. So, look, I mean, it's and when you look at the run differential, too, still lead Major League Baseball with a 209 run differential. So, a lot of metrics will favor the Dodgers, but if you watch this team on a game-to-game basis, today was just an absolute stinker, an absolute clunker. They're going to need to flush this one in short order and refocus for tomorrow's series against the Atlanta Braves, because the Braves, they're coming in, they're they're on their own streak. I mean, they're 70-59 after a rough stretch earlier in the season. They've really come around in the month of August. But here we go. That's right. By the way, isn't it funny? Jock's going to be coming to Dodger Stadium for the second time this year in a different uniform. Buffalo, we got McKinney, Belly, automatic out, don't belong in the lineup. He don't want these games. Dog days of August from Alberto. We got William Blocks in the house. By the way, guys, give me your city zip codes. I want the number one reason why the Dodgers lost this season from you guys. Dude, from Daniel Murray, LLWC. No spark on the field, no spark from the fans, nothing to catch fire. The Rockies took advantage of it. LLWC. Yeah, I think it was USC Day today. So they did have a giveaway. I was thinking maybe we should do some more killer giveaways for these Sunday afternoon games because they tend to be very quiet. It's like it's sunny and people just don't have that same buzz. Like Monday's right around the corner. We got to do something. Yeah, maybe have I don't know, man. Maybe do what the Clippers do and have Fat Man Scoop, energize the crowd, or have a concert before. I don't even know. Have a rave, have EDC there. I don't even know, man. Do something because that crowd was just not feeling it. And look, for good reason. I mean, I'd be the same way if I was there too, because the Dodgers didn't give them much to cheer about in this one. But I do think also just from a general attendance standpoint, you do see more empty seats on Sunday than you do for the rest of the week. I think they should do a killer bobblehead, do something different for some of these Sunday games because they tend to be, it doesn't really feel like it gives helps them as much as other nights of the week. The problem is we are losing when the Giants win. Marina, #analysis, respect. I mean, absolutely. Will Smith should be catching 90% of the games from Gregory. The problem is it seems every time the Giants lose, Dodgers lose. WTF. I mean, it's just starting to feel that way. We did pick, look, 2 weeks ago, Dodgers were down 4 games in the West. It's now down to 2.5. It should be a half a game at this point. The Dodgers, make no mistake about it, they are playing down to their competition when you play the Rockies and you lose 2 out of 3, and there's really just no excuse for it. I mean, as yes, there's fatigue from that Padres series, no question about it, but this team just going out there and there's too many easy outs, too many non-competitive at-bats, and you look at this lineup construction and say the bottom of that lineup was a joke with Billy McKinney and Austin Barnes in the pitcher spot. So, and then you add the fact that Justin Turner and Bellinger has been struggling. He did have a hit today, which was nice to see, and A.J. Pollock, he's been hot. Chris Taylor, the birthday boy, I was hoping he'd have a big day. And then, Trey Turner's had the most hits on the team since he's joined. Corey Seager's had played really well of late too. He's been swinging a pretty nice bat, but yeah, it just wasn't going down. Dodgers suck. I mean, I don't know. I think that if the Dodgers suck and they have the third best record in baseball at 82-49, then how do you describe the Baltimore Orioles or the Arizona Diamondbacks? I mean, it's just the high stakes of the Dodgers. So that's just kind of the standard that they've set here is so high. But trust me, and they suck today. There's no question about that. I'll give you that one. Next, Anthony Garcia. Next series against the Braves, that made the Giants look really bad. Now I'm scared after today's game. Anthony Garcia. Look, I wouldn't say I'm scared per se. I hope this team is a shot in the arm, a much-needed wake-up call saying, hey, this is Major League Baseball. This is the show for a reason. You got professional athletes on the opposing team that are getting paid millions of dollars too. They're playing for big contracts. Look, I mean, there's incentive for guys to go out there and perform. And also, you're playing at Dodger Stadium. You're playing in my opinion, the best ballpark in America. It's certainly the biggest one. And there's always a big stage in Los Angeles. You want to perform well anytime you're going up against the Dodger Blue, especially considering the fact they're the defending champions. And, you have to realize that if you're the Dodgers and come out and play every game like you're going up against the Padres on the road or whatever it may be. Play every game like it's a key series if you want to win this division. I mean, it's not going to be easy, and they let 2 winnable games slip away. And, look, I just want to see a business-like, workmanlike win by the Dodgers. Take care of business against this Rockies team, knowing the Giants had just given them a golden opportunity to take advantage, to pick up a game, and they just couldn't do it. And not only could they not do it, it was an absolute abomination of a game for the Dodgers from top to bottom, really. It was just bad. Waste of roster space. Roberts' bullpen game is stupid. It's no wonder the relievers get shelled in the playoffs. McKinney needs to get cut. Playing with the lowly Rockies. This is from backup T1, Steve, LA Brings. By the way, give me your cities and zip codes. It's always fun to see where you're rocking with us today. Daniel, hey, Doug, do you think our bullpen is out of its goodness and landed back to earth? Daniel, I think that, the Dodgers bullpen has by far been the best bullpen in Major League Baseball in the month of August. You're going to have some blips. You're going to have some games where guys go out there. Even Vesia got hit. Even you saw the 2-run shot that Bickford gave up the other night. But also you're seeing Brusdar Graterol, he's making strides. He's taking steps in the right direction. Joe Kelly still trying to work his way back from coming off that IL. We never knew what it was. Most likely it was COVID based on how they handle these things. So I do think that this bullpen does have the depth, though, with Knebel being back. And to me, it's just about staying healthy. And look, you got to get Corey Knebel back. I mean, you got to get Clayton Kershaw back, and then hopefully Danny Duffy can come back and contribute as well as Tony Gonsolin. So David Price, he looks a little gassed too. Make no mistake about it. And they've been carrying the load. They have put this team on their back. And unfortunately, there's been games where this Dodgers offense just does not pick them up, and they need to hold on to their side of the bargain as well. But here we go. Roberts is the manager. Of course, he is to blame. Tom is Greg. I don't know. I mean, sometimes you blame the chef, sometimes you blame the food. Richie Ping, where is the uncle at pinch hit? Fire Roberts. They only play for half of 3 hours rest. Why are they that out of condition? I don't think Price is even able to be optioned. LOL. I don't know who that's a question to. You guys probably have in a sidebar. Yeah, he's not. Wasted Jansen today too. That's another thing too. I mean, the Jansen going out there, and it wasn't a very taxing inning, but you got that big series coming up. I mean, we're going to be interested to see what was justification for that. And it just wasn't there's just not the bodies in there. And really, what really hurt the Dodgers today, and going into this, what their game plan had to have been, and that was they were hoping that Mitch White was going to give them that length. He went 7 1/3 earlier in the week, or against the Pirates, and they were really hoping that they would get that same result, but unfortunately he just didn't have it today. He just didn't have it today like we saw. He ended up going 3 1/3 innings. And had 6 punch outs, gave up those 3 earned runs. But look, I mean, the good thing about Mitch White is he did settle down to an extent. He didn't give up any other runs, and he battled his way following that. So, I mean, look, the Dodgers when Brusdar Graterol got out of that bases loaded jam, I was really thinking, look, that was a major momentum shift, and I thought that would be really the difference. But yeah, I mean, when Mitch White goes 7 1/3 against the Pirates, had the 6 punchies, had the 2 walks, you were thinking he'd come out and give you at least five, and just wasn't able to give them that length that they needed. And you saw what happened. It led to Justin Turner having to play. But here we go. Mitch White is not a starter yet. Not yet. Too much too soon. Sorry, I've been drinking kerosene. I don't know why Dodgers did not play good today. Roberts and the hitting coaches need to be fired. Cali Cats, if we get Bauer back, take it for the next year. I wouldn't bet on that for you. Dave wanted that. The pitching has kept us in, but now the pitching is feeling it. Kirsch is done. Why would you say that? I don't even. What's your reasoning? Provide some show your work on that one, because Clayton Kershaw, from all things I've heard, is that things are looking up for Clayton Kershaw, and that Clayton Kershaw is going to come back, and I think he's going to be a pretty big factor for this team. There's no question about that. Run differential is all because of pitching. I mean, of course it's a factor, but it's not all because of pitching. You got to score runs to create a positive run differential. But I will say it is skewed because of certain blowout games and how the Dodgers fare during certain games where they have success. So yeah, I'll definitely get you that. Like if you look at the Dodgers, they're really, I mean, it's just the disparity in their offensive production in wins and losses tends to be really on the extreme side. In losses this year, the Dodgers, they're hitting 244 with a 763 OPS. 244 with a 763 OPS. That's good for 24th in Major League Baseball. In games following a loss. Actually, okay, that's the wrong thing. So, like, if you look at the Dodgers this year, they have they're 28th in the league. They're 28th in Major League Baseball in batting average in games they lose. A 191 average with a 592 OPS in games that the Dodgers lose this year. I mean, that is third last in Major League Baseball. That is how I call it Dodger Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That is what this Dodgers offense tends to be, and today was a perfect example. Yesterday, Will Smith came up big. Previous night, you had the solo shots that helped the Dodgers, with Trey Turner get in the mix, but with Will Smith and Trey Turner. But yeah, I mean, that is just terrible. I mean, it shows a lack of consistency for this Dodgers offense, and they need to figure that out. They need to figure that out because you can't have all that up and down, that roller coaster style offense in a 5 to 7 game series against a really good team. It's really gonna rear its ugly head. And then you look at the flip side, the Dodgers in games one, LA, they're 18th in the league with an 844 OPS, a 273 batting average. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of boomer busts with this Dodgers offense, and that's kind of the thing I don't like to see when it comes to it. But hopefully too many bullpen sessions. Bullpen will be worn out by the end of September. That's from Craig Osterberg. LA, baby. Real LA, no suburb. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let me know where you're repping Dodgers Nation from. Only reliable offense from 3 guys. Anthony Garcia, Buehler, Scherzer, and Urias. We have 3 of the best pitchers in the league, but the others are crappy as hell. The stadium was empty due to the majority of fans attending Los Buki's. Interesting, the concert. Yeah, I mean that's look, I mean if that's a thing, then that's a logistical wrinkle that needs to be addressed because these are key games, and I've ever been a game at Fenway Park or Wrigley Field, but every home game's a pretty massive deal and definitely impacts the play on the field. But Muncy, JT, Belly, McKinney, and CT3 are killing us. We got McKinney and Barnes are like having 2 more pitchers hit. Ouch. Junior, Tatis, Junior, all those 2-1 and 3-2 in close games. They won throughout the past few weeks. We're lucky because offensively only a few showed up, and that's not too much though. Jeff Lane, don't leave this turd in the turlet. Flush and move on. Yeah, I mean, we got to flush and move on, but we got a couple more minutes of talking about this loss. Here, where's Mookie Betts? He needs to step up. Yeah, Mookie Betts came in the lineup late. He was a part of that double switch there. And, yeah, let's break down this game a little bit. So let's look at that top of the first inning. So let me ask you guys this question. What do you think the Dodgers should have done with Crone in the first? Let me know. I want your takes. What should the Dodgers done with Crone with runners on second and third there in that first inning? Ends up being a 3-run shot. Gave the Rockies an early 3-run lead. But here we go. I'm going to do some rapid fire of your takes, and we're going to start breaking down this game. Blue Magic, today was bad. We are stacked, and we will make a run in September. We got they were hoping, and it was a fluke with Mitch. He's not ready. Jeff Smizik, the Dodgers are playing flat. John Logan, the Dodgers have been looking too far ahead of their schedule and taking the Rockies for granted. Agree with 100%. No coincidence this team. No confidence in this team playing at home. They get too lazy mentally. From Carl over on YouTube. Robert Rocha. It wouldn't have mattered who pitched today. We didn't even score a run. Yeah, I mean, when you look at the final score of the game, they could only just muster 3 hits today. 3 hits for the Dodgers, and they were all singles. No extra base hits. I mean, the offense just didn't show up, man. And you guys say whatever you want about Dave Robertson. He made his mistakes today. But if you're going to blame Dave Roberts, you also got to put some blame on those players who just did not get it done today. And you can just see that across the board. They just did not perform against a Rockies team that heading in today, they were 16-48 on the road. Now 17-48 on the road. That's by far the worst record in Major League Baseball. The Dodgers 43-22 at home heading into today. And to me, it was just really to me this was the most embarrassing loss of the season. Let me ask that question down below in the comment section. Do you think this was the worst loss of the season? To me, when you consider the fact that A game was on the line as far as gaining ground on the San Francisco Giants. They didn't take advantage. They couldn't capitalize on that opportunity. And then you just, like, when I saw Justin Turner out there pitching, I mean, this is, it just showed you what was going on today. It was really a microcosm of just how terrible this afternoon was. This team is still not clicking. That's from Nomo FOMO. Jeff Bellinger has been a bust this year. Ryan Moore Roberts punted on this series. No way around it. We got Dodgers are still favorites from Blue Magic. Backup T1 would rather have Julio against the Braves and Giants, LOL, but I get what you mean. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, too. Julio's had a lot of success against the Atlanta Braves, and then you got that big Giants series. And look, today really it all comes down to, yes, Mitch White did give that 3-run shot, and he didn't give them the length, but I think when you look at this offense just not showing up, I mean, to me, why wasn't Mookie Betts and Justin Turner in there? I mean, that to me would have changed the game. You really think if Mookie Betts and Justin Turner are in that lineup and you don't have Billy McKinney, I mean, even Will Smith, I mean, come on, man, this is Major League Baseball, man. I mean, guys need their days off, make no mistake about it, but we're in a stretch run here, and yes, that keeping guys fresh can pay dividends in different ways, especially when you consider the Dodgers are anticipating a deep run the postseason, but you got to win baseball games, man. If you want to win this division, you got to win games. You got to get the best guys in there. They can give you the best chance to do that, and today they didn't do that. And of course, this is not just Dave Roberts making this lineup. If you think that, you just don't know how this team operates. If you think that Dave Roberts sits in the dugout, writes up a lineup, hands it in, and it's coming from just his brain, I'm telling you, don't understand how the Los Angeles Dodgers operate. Let me tell you right now, there are more guys that are involved in that process, and we're talking more than just 2 or 3 guys, okay? It is a team effort when it comes to making these lineups, and look, Dave Roberts has to take the heat for it. I understand that, but that's just the reality of this situation. And whoever the powers that be, along with Dave Roberts, because look, you got if it's on him to put his fist down, and say no. I don't think that he's got a read of these guys better than anyone. He's in the dugout, he's talking to them, he's having conversations. And if he says, look, these guys are good to go, we got to have these guys in the lineup. And to me, this is a game the Dodgers gave away. And to me, you don't give away games in a pennant chase like they did today. And is very disappointing, and it just leaves a really bad taste in your mouth after this one. They're going to have to make it up this week. I mean, they're going to have to really make it up this week if they want to win this division and have some momentum heading into the postseason. But strikeout Crone, we got just a bad pitch by Mitch to Crone from Robert Rocha. Yeah, fastball, left it up, right in that right into Crone's nitro zone, and he crushed it, man. Crone should have been walked. White should have never started. Austin Lambert, A-Goat, intentional walk. How long will Friedman put up with this from Dave from William Blockson? I think Friedman loves Dave. I mean, him and Dave Roberts are very close in their relationship, and I think that he likes that he does implement his style and he implements his suggestions, quote unquote, as far as how this team is run. I don't think it's a situation like that. And also, Dave Roberts has done one heck of a job getting this team that was decimated by injuries and off-the-field drama to have the 3rd best record in Major League Baseball and only be 2.5 games back from the Giants for best record in baseball. By the end of this next week, they could have the best record in Major League Baseball. So, yes, Dave Roberts has his warts. He makes his mistakes at times, and there's no question about it. But look, I mean, they're just like players. They're not going to bat at 1,000, and you have to really consider the clubhouse culture effect, the intangibles, getting guys to continue to buy in, and getting a team that has stars all across the board, all-stars, Cy Young winners. You have MVPs, and they're willing to take any spot on the roster. A lot of that is because of Dave Roberts and their belief in him. I mean, that's just a fact. But I understand. Look, man, hey, you guys, hey, trust me, man. My favorite thing about this show is, hey, man, I have no issue disagreeing with you guys because, look, man, you guys could be right, and your opinions always make me think differently about mine, so I always appreciate that. Not a pitch down the middle from Joe. I love that joke. I love it when it's so simple, right? Don't throw a pitch right down the middle. That things could have been different today. I agree with you 100%. Just a bad pitch to Crone. We got to start Urias instead of saving him. That's from John Warfel. Yeah, I mean, look, if you pitch Urias, he pitches well, right? And then you're 1.5 games back, and then there's a little less pressure, and then maybe, Mitch White pitches better at night like he did against the Pittsburgh Pirates. But this Braves offense, they're going to come in. They're going to be tough to shut down. So the Dodgers better score some runs, or it's going to be an ugly series against the ATL. So frustrating. Hello from Guatemala. How's it going, Ramix over on Periscope? Roberts needs to get on these guys. I agree with the 100% Beto. That's one thing, too. It's, look, man, you can't be really a rah-rah guy too many times when it comes to Major League Baseball because, look, it's a long season. It's a marathon. Baseball requires focus and concentration. It's not just, football running your fast. It's like a big collision, like a big train wreck, right? Baseball requires, and football requires a lot of concentration, too. I'm not saying it's not, but baseball is a little less about the hype and as far as the motivation. It's about really just kind of, staying even keel can help you in this sport because there is so many ups and downs. There is so much just a failure that's inevitable in this sport that you can't be too high and too low. But I think I agree with you for sure. You have to stress the importance of that. Anthony Keene, maybe how's it going, Anthony Keene? Where you been at, man? Maybe they had their fantasy draft last night. Anthony Keene's a possibility. Worst loss, okay. So John Borfel thinks it's the worst loss of the season. I'm in agreement with you. EB, Doug, you have to remember that we are tired of seeing these ridiculous calls by Roberts. This is not new. It has been years of bad decisions by Roberts. I get you. I feel you, man. Get so frustrated that these guys don't bunt against the shift. Yeah, I mean, you saw Belly do a little bunt today. Didn't work. Deborah, it was the most unnecessary loss of the season. I like that. Anthony Keene, worst loss of the season. We've had a few too many of those this year. Yeah, the fact that we can really have this discussion is very telling of the season it's been. But look at this. I mean, when you take a step back and you look at the overall record, it just look, man. We are spoiled, man. We are a spoiled fan base. The roster, the resources. But the Dodgers are almost being a victim of the standard they've set. And it just comes with the territory. There's not many World Series or bust teams out there. There really isn't. Are the Rays a World Series or bust team and they have a better record than the Dodgers? No. So there's only a few out there. Are the Giants a World Series or bust team? No. The Yankees, Dodgers, really probably, maybe the Astros because they're trash and they're, going to be pretty much broken up after the season with Correa leaving. Are they a World Series or bust team? I would say probably, but as far as the media and the public perception, how it will be covered, Dodgers are in rare territory when it comes to the expectations. Mookie just had a few weeks off. How does he need another day? I mean, I think they're just trying to really kind of take it step by step. You saw him running the bases yesterday, scoring that run there late. And, that hip looked good, but I think they're trying to slow play it. They don't want to have any setbacks. It's the last thing you want with him. IB Stroking, you got a quote from Sun Tzu. Let's read this. Lose when the Giants lose as to give the appearance of keeping pace with the enemy. Sun Tzu. IB Stroking. I need that, man. Cali Cats, we are saying them for what I don't know. We could have gained a game today. Yeah, we're saving that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I was trying to hammer home that point myself is, look, a win against the Rockies counts the same as a win against the Braves or the Padres or the Giants or whoever it may be. And then also you count the fact that how valuable it is for a Giants team that just doesn't want to go away. And you have a golden opportunity. The Giants aren't going to play many more difficult road series than going to Atlanta, and they just couldn't capitalize. I am perplexed by this, man. I'm flummoxed. I'm at a loss for words. I'm speechless. I thought this would most definitely be, at worst, a 1.5 game deficit heading into Monday, but we're back where we started at 2.5 heading into the weekend. I'm with you guys. I'm just as upset about it as you guys. I'm probably going to eat ice cream for the rest of the day and probably cry. I'm sad, Paul. Leo ZZ Top, how you doing? Blue Magic let Doc be Doc backup T1. Maybe it's just coincidence, but I definitely would assume that Mitch White needs an opener, and the same with Price. That's a fair point. That's interesting too. It just kind of takes the pressure off. You're not facing the top of the lineup. You're just coming in, and you're kind of more familiar with that routine as far as like David Price and Mitch White doing that earlier in their careers. But it's an interesting point. For sure, no question about it. Going to drink my sorrows away, Paul. Take a shot for me. Dave is a puppet to the front office. He will never be fired until he grows some. That's from Wilfredo C. Cordova over on Facebook. Junior R over on Periscope. By the way, if you're on YouTube, be sure to like the show. If you're on Periscope, be sure to, or on Twitter, be sure to retweet. If you're on Facebook, be sure to share this show too, because look, this is our show, right? And you guys want everyone to tune in to your show because you guys are a part of the action for sure. Dave is there until the team is sold off. That's from Carnivorous Lunar Activity over on YouTube. Bob Northland over on YouTube. The Dodgers should have blown the Rockies out 3 straight games this weekend. Bob Northland, exactly. Big facts. It's been 3 months. Yeah, I think it's 123 days since the Dodgers have been in first place. Bring back Puig. That's from Jeff. C.J. Cron is a free agent this season, so the Dodgers should give him a look this offseason. Just saying, Junior, you sound like you want me to make a video on that. Might have to. Please stop making excuses for Dave. I'm not making any excuses for anyone. I'm just pointing out the facts, man. There's a lot of nuance to this stuff, a lot of factors, not cut and dry. Small ball. So this is for the reasons why you thought the Dodgers lost. Small ball. How did you feel about Justin Turner pitching? It was cool. I like seeing him with the shades. His vibe out there. He's got a nice mound presence to him. He was spotting it a little bit. Yeah, Justin Turner. It was that was funny, and honestly, I mean, all I gotta say is too, Justin Turner is a superior pitcher than Josh Reddick, who got released by the Mets. So that's important to me. And yeah, JT was out there, and he was out there dealing, man. What can you say? He's more of a pitch to contact type pitcher, there's no question about that. But he went in there, and they like Oral said that he's been kind of, or was it Oral or Joe said that he had been bothering Dave Roberts. He wanted the opportunity to pitch and finally got that opportunity today. And hey, man, what can you say? Goes out there, gets 3 outs, and he got the job done. I never thought I would say that. His max pitch velocity today, his heater, 76.9 miles per hour. It says he threw 3 sliders. So, yeah. Yeah, man, that was basically like the Dodgers taking a knee. If we're watching a football game, when you see JT out there pitching, it was like the Dodgers basically took a knee and said, okay, we give up, we surrender. But he did get the job done, shut out the Rockies for that inning. So why is Bellinger struggling so much? That's from Aleda Andy Taylor. I think that, he'll make strides. I mean, today the Dodgers had 3 hits today, and one of them was Cody Bellinger. You saw the play he made defensively, that snow cone catch, the extension on the run, all the ground he covered. That was impressive. I know you saw that gold on his glove. He's an elite defender. Offensively, really, you see him still miss fastballs. You really are. I mean, he's missing fastballs, swinging underneath them, doesn't have that rhythm. And, yeah, I mean, this is just, to me, the power's not there, and that's really what it is. He does, you saw some balls that, he's just missing pitches too. I mean, he's just missing pitches. He's fouling off stuff that you would see him drive with it. And I think that mechanically his swing, it just doesn't feel as simplified as it needs to be. When you look at some of his old footage, he's just swinging, and you're not seeing as many moving parts. You're seeing a better rhythm. You're seeing him just attack fastballs and just hit it out. The bat speed just not there right now with Cody Bellinger, and he's just not getting to pitches that he typically drives. So, is that a result of the shoulder surgery? I'm sure it is. Even the hairline fracture in his fibula, I'm sure that's also a factor too. And I do have hope that he can just be more of a consistent hitter. And, you can't give up on him, especially considering he's a former MVP, multi-time All-Star. But, yeah, Cody Bellinger's a guy that really looks frustrated out there at times. But, look, he's still grinding. He is still grinding. And you saw he got a hit today, so hopefully that's something that he can build upon. But, yeah, I mean, make no mistake about it, there's no way to sugarcoat his struggles this season. Last 30 days, a 612 OPS, hitting right at the Mendoza line, 18 for his last 90, 26 strikeouts to 2 walks. So you cut that down to his last 13 games, Cody Bellinger, he's hitting 109, an OPS of 259. So, I mean, look, in Major League Baseball, more than most sports, you are what your numbers are. His last 6 games, hitting 136. So, yeah, Cody Bellinger just not getting it done. He has had those flashes, and you just hope that he can put more competitive at-bats together because there's just too many at-bats he's going up there and missing pitches, fouling off pitches, resulting in strikeouts, resulting in easy soft outs. But back to the comments section. Yeah, let's jump ahead, though. Let's do some let's get back into this game here. So top of the first inning, we got to get into that. So Mitch White strikes out Connor Joe with a slider, and then Rogers singles to left. First pitch slider, outer half, the Rockies' first hit of the game. Then on a 1-1 count, Blackman doubled to right on a curveball that didn't have a lot of depth, didn't have the break to it. And the Rockies had runners on first and second with 1 out. And then runners on second and third with 1 out. And then C.J. Cron on a 2-1 pitch. Nice hitter's count right there. Leaves a fastball up. He crushes it to left field, right into the pavilion, and gives the Rockies a 3-0 early lead. And look, fastball hitters count. C.J. Cron, like I said, 1190 OPS, last 24, one of the hottest hitters in the league over the last month. And he's the one guy that can really beat you on this team. We saw Blackman have that big homer against the Dodgers in Colorado, a few weeks back. But C.J. Cron's the guy you would want to pitch around in this game. But to me, unintentional, intentional walk, whether or not you want to load the bases. I think that, look, if Mitch White had been dealing or if he had better command, if he was looking a little more sharp and they were just putting good swings on balls, I would say maybe you attack him, but he just was not sharp early in this game, and it really cost the Dodgers, put him behind the 8-ball early on. They strike first blood, and then he gets Ruiz to ground to second to end the inning, but not before the Rockies put up that crooked number there in the first. So 3-0. Yeah, man, what a beast in that one. But here we go, LWC. If Justin Turner went another inning, he was going to get bombed. They were barreling up on him. Yeah, if you look at some of his, those exit velos on him, like C.J. Cron's, that one he hit, it was 108.6 miles per hour off the bat with that single. The Ruiz 101 off the bat, a 620 XBA expected batting average there on the flyout. So yeah, for sure. The Estevez 100.3 miles per hour off the bat. I don't know about you guys. Let me get your take on that. Do you think position players pitching is bad for the sport? Me personally, I think it's embarrassing. I think it's terrible for the sport. Me, it's like you don't see the punter coming out there and playing quarterback if it's a blowout, right? I think it's an absolute abomination. I think it's one of the bad things about baseball. Baseball is competing with the NBA. It's competing with the NFL. You don't see that level of it's comedy. It's bad for the sport. I'm telling you, man, that should not be a part of the game. It actually makes me very upset to even talk about it. I don't care. It's fun. You can go viral and you show cute things and, Brock Holt doing this and that. It's not good for the sport. I'm telling you, man. If I was at a game, I almost would want my money back. Do you think Dodgers re-sign Seager? It's a good question. I will say I think that if the Dodgers are looking at how Corey Seager has responded to that injury, and if they think that he projects as a top end player moving forward, I think that he's proved a lot since he's returned from that broken hand. With the fact that he's looked really good out there. The power numbers aren't where he wants them to be, but Corey Seager has really, really been consistent and has been one of the best hitters on the Dodgers, pretty much the best hitter other than Trey Turner since coming off the IL. Here we go. Oh, thanks, Frank. Appreciate you, man. 499. Appreciate you. That's what I'm talking about. Fire Roberts, maybe Doug, Cody. Here we go, Matthew. Matthew Matty M over on Matthew Matty Man 5 Dodge over on YouTube. Doug, Cody is hitting 169. That is probably going to be the worst average in the league this year. Wake up, Matty. I did a whole thing about Cody Bellinger, how he has, I think, the 6th lowest WRC plus. And to me, I think ultimately, I don't know what I said on the show already, but I've said time and again that you start Chris Taylor at center and you put A.J. Pollock there and then you give Cody Bellinger those opportunities, and unless he heats up, you got to go with the best 9 to give you a chance to win. And look, to me, things can change in the matter of a week in a matter of 2 weeks. And look at Bellinger get hot. He can get hot. I mean, defensively, he can win. He can really, really change the game with his defense. But yeah, I mean, if you're hitting below the Mendoza line for months on end, that's just not. You don't want to be Billy Hamilton out there or anything like that. You want to go out there and give yourself a chance to hit. But I just think what the Dodgers are thinking is they're hoping that he finds it and it helps them from a power standpoint. Have a guy out there, a left-handed bat that can give you some power. But just hasn't been the case. But I don't think that is the reason why the Dodgers are struggling that much offensively. I mean, Max Muncy, Chris Taylor have been going through slumps lately, even Justin Turner. So I think offensively there's a lot of guys that could be swinging better bats at the moment, having better at-bats. But here we go. Wilfredo will lose a couple big pieces in the offseason. I think you definitely will. But they can also get big pieces too. So John Warfel, bottom line, bullpen games need to end ASAP, and days of our best players have in days off. Okay, sorry. Days off for our best players have to be cut back. I mean, I'm with you 100% on that. I mean, the bullpen games are what they are. This team has already set a record with how many pitchers have pitched for the Dodgers this season, and then but to me, I think that they thought they could just find a way to win this game and give guys rest, and it backfired, and it bit them in the ass, and it cost them a chance to be a game and a half away from the Giants. That is the reality of today. And the Dodgers, they rolled the dice, and it came up snake eyes, right? I mean, they lost today, and they made a bad choice. And, so anyways, so let's go to top of the fourth inning. So Hilliard singled to deep right. Wyatt walks Nunez. Then Senzatella, he hits a sacrifice. He hit the little sacrifice bunt there. And then Barnes, he double clutches it, tries to get the lead runner at third. The throw was late. All runners are safe. That gives the Rockies bases loaded. And then Mitch White, he strikes out Joe swinging with the slider for the first out. And then Brusdar Graterol comes in. He strikes out Rogers. Nice sequence there. Hit him with a lot of heaters. And it ends up getting the punchy with a little slider action there. Thought that was probably the best sequence of the game as far as the Dodgers pitchers go. And then Blackman, he pops to third for the third out. So I thought when the Dodgers escaped that, I was thinking, okay, that was the momentum shift. They're going to score runs still early, bottom of the fourth. Boy, was I wrong. Then the bottom of the fifth inning, Dodgers finally broke. Hey, at least the Dodgers broke up the perfect game, right? At least the Dodgers didn't get no hit for the second time this year, because for a while that was my fear. So bottom of the fifth inning, Corey Seager gets the Dodgers' first hit and base run of the day on a single. Then Chris Taylor, he struck out swinging. This was a sequence too. I mean, it was on a 3-1 count, fastball, bottom of the zone. It looked like it could have been a ball. He called it a strike. He ends up missing on that fastball. He was late on a 3-2 count. He goes down swinging. And then Cody Bellinger, he singled to center, giving LA runners on the corners with one out. And then McKinney, he strikes out swinging. And then on another 3-2 count, he couldn't come through. And then Austin Barnes, he grounds into a fielder's choice. So the Dodgers, they had runners on the corners, one out, couldn't cash in, couldn't get a run there. At least they break up the perfect game and no-hitter. But that was the inning where I think you start to chip away at that lead. And I think after they stranded those runners in that inning, that's when I was starting to think, okay, this is going to be one of those days. And it turned out that it was. Here we go. We got, how do you feel about prize pitch Saturday? Of course, you have me on the sidebar? Okay. Yeah. And then top of the sixth, double switch Joe Kelly for Connor Joe. Joe Kelly comes in to pitch to Connor Joe. They go with Mookie and to get out of that inning. Then in the top of the seventh inning, Rogers struck out swinging. Then Blackman walks. And then Joe Kelly walks Blackman. Then Story doubled to left, giving the Rockies runners on first and second with no outs. And then they intentionally walked Crone, which was, about 7 innings too late there. And then Ruiz hit a sac fly to right, scoring Blackman to make it 4-0 Rockies. Then Kelly walks Hilliard. And then Story scored on a Green wild. Then Shane Green comes in to pitch to Trevor Story. He throws a wild pitch. The runner scores. That makes it 5-0 Rockies. And then Nunez walked, and then Senzatella grounded to second. So that gets him out of that inning. But, if you look at that inning there, they're able to get more runs. And bottom of the seventh, Dodgers had another chance. A.J. Pollock walked. Seager was hit by a pitch. And then Connor Joe, worst birthday present ever to Chris Taylor. He robs CT3 in foul territory for the first out. Then Belly, he strikes out swinging for the second out. And then JT, he popped to first. That ended the threat. Kenley Jansen, a little 1-2-3 inning there in the top of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th, Trey Turner gets that 2-out single. Rockies lost in the sun. Max Muncy, he draws a walk. Give the Dodgers runners on first and second, 2 out, and then they couldn't capitalize once again. So, look, the Dodgers, even though they scored no runs, they had opportunities in this one. They had base runners late in the game after the 5th inning. They just couldn't get the big hits that they needed in big situations. But let's go back to the comment section, guys. We'll be back in action. On Tuesday. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel at DodgersNation.com. Here we go. You always go with your best flashbacks. Robert starting Yu Darvish. Yeah, Frank Flores, I agree with you. Deborah Young, I hope Duffy's on fire when he comes up. Let's do some last quick takes, guys. Give me your hottest Dodger takes, then we'll get out of this one. Let's go Dodgers. Belly should try to bunt more. He did today. Too much hero ball. I agree with you. Too many absolutely correct, Frank Flores. No enthusiasm, Doug. It was a listless atmosphere in Dodger Stadium. That's what I was saying earlier. I still can't believe we lost this series. The Rockies, unmanageable. Carl, that was funny. Stop patting your heads. Must have knocked something loose. Carl, killing me, Carl. Talking about the dunking on him. I need a laugh. Sup, Doug? What's up, Jose Rod? That full belly is high as F. Thank you, Wilfredo. Hey, Wilfredo Cordero. Always appreciate your takes. Thanks for rocking with us. Even my man AJ sucked. Deborah Young. Hey, man. D-Mac, best in the business. Thanks, Blue Magic. Hey, but thanks, guys. Hey, man, I know it was a tough loss, but we got through this one together, and we'll get back to our winning ways hopefully tomorrow against the Atlanta Braves. It is a massive week for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm telling you, this is put up or shut up week for LA. But let's try to win the series, try to sweep the Braves, and go up to San Francisco. To me, I mean, no question, this is going to be the series of the year. So, guys, I don't know how you feel the night before the postseason, but tomorrow it's the postseason as if you want to win the division. That's how big it is. Tomorrow is not just regular season games this next week. Treat them like postseason games. Get special food, get special drinks, get the car flags out, do whatever you got to do. But if you're at the game, make some noise. Dodger crowd today, I don't know. But thanks again, guys. You're the best in the business as far as fans. There's no question about it. But thanks for rocking with us. See you guys on Tuesday, I believe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. That's at DMAC_LA. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Download the Dodgers Nation app for my Android and iPhone users. But remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodgers baseball. See you guys later in the week. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
What a catch by Mookie Betts. Another home run for Corey Seager. Another strikeout for Kershaw. A robbery of Tatis. Score! Will Smith. This is what an ace looks like.
And tagged out is Riley, a double play.